As you all know, we are invested in different investments in Agri Terra, strawberry greenhouse, and also oranges and so on. And basically, we want to find solutions how everything could run more properly. First of all, a few informations about me. My name is Mike Strothmann. Actually, I'm a mechanical engineer. Basically, I did my lifelong motorsports, being a driver in karting, being a driver in race cars. Then I worked 8 years for BMW Motorsport. Basically, I developed young racing drivers, developed racing schools all around the world, developed various junior racing series also around the world. In the end, my yearly budget that I was responsible for was about 4 million euros per year. Then I decided I'm not really the guy for big companies. I have to do my own business. I have to be my own boss. So basically, I started a completely different business in a spa, a wellness business. Had that for 15 years. Basically, it turned out in that area, in that floating business area. In the end, it was the most successful in all over Europe. Yeah. I have sold that after 15 years, decided to retire. As I said, so me and my wife, we are investors in Agri Terra. Actually, we have invested a high six-figure number in different projects in Agri Terra, and this is maybe also, or you can see this might be the reason why we are so behind that some of the projects, or hopefully all the projects, will run positively in the future. Why are we so involved? So basically, in March 24. I had the last phone call with Carsten Pfau. It was regarding strawberry greenhouse that we have bought. Actually, it was delayed by then already, but I wanted to know what is the progress and the current status of that project. That was March 24. Carsten Pfau told me, well, everything is going to be fine. Everything is ordered already and is on the way now from Brazil to Paraguay. So no problem. By end of June, I will see strawberries in my greenhouse. Okay, so I said, well, from March to June, okay, maybe if he's really well prepared, but okay, let's give him 2, 3 months more, and then it should be possible. So basically, end of June, I heard nothing. End of July, we heard nothing. End of August, we were a little bit okay. We could not reach Carsten Pfau, not on WhatsApp, not on Facebook, not on his email, nothing. So basically, that we were ghosted by him. Yeah. So I thought to myself, okay, it does not look so good. So I tried to get some informations from all sources that I had. Basically, I did not have that many sources by then, but one source finally told me, well, unfortunately, it doesn't look very good. Looks like a big fraud. Wow. And then my world broke together, I have to say. Yeah, because well, it's a lot of money. It's not all of my money and not all of our money, but it's a high sum. So there were a lot of sleepless nights, I must say. And after some days, my wife and I, we decided, okay, we don't get any informations or not. Well, sometimes we get very good information, sometimes we get very bad informations, and then we decided, okay, we have to go to Paraguay. We have to fly to Paraguay, see it with our own eyes, not really telling Agri-Terra when we would arrive, because we wanted to see the real world, not just a show event for some clients where everything is fine and they show you only the good stuff but not the bad stuff. So they said, okay, when we are there, we will tell our Agri-Terra that we are there, but they would have no chance to make a show event out of it, yeah, because the time would be just too short for them. Yeah. Yeah, and this is basically where the pictures and the videos came from that a lot of you might have seen already on our Facebook page. Yeah. So why are we doing this Zoom meeting here? Basically, first of all, we want to give some informations in your direction. Basically, the informations, what is the status quo at the moment, and what could be done in the future to make it successful. But on the other hand side, we also need to receive informations from you guys, because it will not work if only a few will join us in the projects in the future. So basically, we need a lot of people, a lot of investors joining us to make the projects successful. So basically, we will ask you then in the next days, okay, who can think of joining us in the future. So first of all, the situation at Agri Terra, let's say Carsten Pfau's situation also, because he's head of everything there. Let's start with Granja Direct. Maybe not all of the Americans know all the projects that are running in Paraguay. Granja Direct is or was a supermarket chain. They had 3 supermarkets, then they had 2, and then they had only 1, and now there's no supermarket anymore. I call it a total loss. Carsten Pfau in the last Zoom speech that he said, no, it's not a total loss. Like nearly everything is fine. Yeah, just the supermarkets are not standing anymore, but yeah, but all the fridges and so on, they are still there, and we can. Well, I exaggerate now, but we can make millions if we sell that stuff, yeah, something like that, yeah. But I mean, old fridges and old shelves and everything. I mean, you nobody pays any money for that, yeah. So maybe you get 5 or 10% of the new purchase price. The investors never received any annual reports. I mean, like nearly always with Carsten Pfau. I mean, this is not the only project where we don't get any annual reports. Nobody knew anything about the numbers, about the figures, and so on. Actually, I am the second biggest shareholder in that company, and I was not informed that any supermarkets closed. Not officially by Carsten Pfau, not officially from the company. I had to find out just from other sources, just by chance. Well, now the next supermarket is closed, and I received a picture and was like, oh, wow. So yeah, the information policy of Carsten Pfau, I think we all know how bad it is. Basically, in all the projects, lots of employees were not paid, and finally they were fired. Some of you know our video that we have posted on the Facebook page and also on the Instagram page, where employees are protesting in front of Carsten Pfau's house. They filed a complaint at the unemployment office. I hope that's the right word in English. Now, a lot of the assets from Carsten Pfau were transferred in a foundation. Well, he says, well, this is normal in Paraguay that you do that because you get a better loan, blah blah, and so on and so on. I simply don't believe it. Yeah, I must say. Lots of contracts were broken, and yeah, basically you guys know it. So I must say personally, I don't trust him anymore. Or basically, I only trust him how far as I can throw him. And if you see him and the weight that he has, and my arms are not very big, I cannot trust him very far, and I cannot throw him very far. Yeah. So what investments do we want to speak of today? Basically, the agricultural investments. La Colmena is difficult because La Colmena basically 50%, some say 60% of the trees that were planted once are not existing anymore. They are just dead. If you ask me what evidence do I have, I was there. I saw it. And actually, even if you look at Google Maps now and you find the area, you can see it yourself on Google Maps, because there are parts of the plantation where you can see that the trees are really big, and there are parts where there's basically nothing anymore. Yeah, and there you can see that's the difficulty. I mean, the trees that are still there could be successful if they were treated properly. That means chemicals against any fungicides or other diseases, proper irrigation system, nutrition, blah, 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 and so on. But basically, the people who are working there get no budget for that. Yeah, basically, they don't even get budget for the tractor to be able to start that and operate that. And the guy who's working there, he has to, I don't know if that's the right word, but the scissors to cut the trees and so on. He has to buy that stuff himself from his own money. And they were also not paid for months now. Yeah. So La Colmena is a little bit more difficult. Nueva Italia is easier. So basically, we're talking today about Nueva Italia citrus. We're talking about vegetable greenhouses in Nueva Italia. Strawberry greenhouses, Nueva Italia is difficult because they are not existing. Okay, Carsten Pfau will now tell, well, but 20 are there and like 95% is built already, blah, blah, blah. And within a few days or weeks, you will see strawberries in these greenhouses. No, because basically only the hull, only let's call it the tent, that structure is there, and a few pipes in the ground are there. But I compare it with a car. I mean, if you buy a car at the car dealer, he delivers the car and says, "Well, this is your car, but there's only the engine and the gearbox and the suspension is missing." I mean, it's not a car. You cannot operate it. You cannot drive it from A to B. Yeah, and this is basically what the strawberry greenhouses are there. There are 20 construction standing. Yeah. But the most important stuff, the technology and everything, the irrigation and so on, is not there. Yeah, so therefore it's also difficult to talk about that. Yeah, but in the end, if you have any questions regarding that, I will try to answer them as good as possible. Okay, talking about citrus Nueva Italia, we can say one and two, yeah, but this is basically one because the Nueva Italia two trees are basically 1 year younger and therefore a little bit smaller. Yeah, but the numbers are pretty much the same, let's say it this way. That's the status quo, yeah. These pictures are from end of March, beginning of April in 2025. So basically what you can see here, now I have the computer where I have a very small screen. But here on the left-hand side, you see very dry, no irrigation system. Here also very dry. I mean, Carsten Pfau was right in his speech. This is a special kind of orange tree that closes the leaves. This is very normal. That has nothing to do, or not necessarily to do with dryness. But you can see on the ground that it's pretty dry. And then here on the pictures below, you can see the diseases that are there. It's not all of the trees. I must say, I would say something like 10% when we were there looked like this. And you have different diseases. I mean, you can see the oranges that well, basically you have to throw them away. You cannot harvest them, yeah, because this is even not industrial quality. But what you can also see is these dark leaves here. I thought the leaves are maybe just a little bit dirty or so, but then from the experts, I was informed, no, it's not dirt. It's a fungus, and the fungus sets on the leaves. Basically, the chlorophyll cannot work anymore, and in the end, the tree dies. it does not die within days or weeks or months, but it will die within years. So Carsten Pfau says that now this problem is solved. I doubt it because there's no money provided for any chemicals and so on. So maybe they got rid of the oranges that look like that, but I'm sure it's not completely solved. So the trees are in poor condition. Some are okay, but let's say many are in poor condition. No, as I mentioned, there's no chemicals against the diseases. There's no fertilization because how do you want to apply the fertilizer when the tractors are not working? No irrigation. Carsten Pfau says, it's not necessarily necessary at the moment. But next week, next year there will be an irrigation system. Okay, we will see if he will install it then. The experts that I have say irrigation system from day one, not after 4 or 5 years, day one. The earlier you have it, the faster the tree will grow. Yeah, and the earlier you will have proper yield of that tree. Not enough machines. So basically, until I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had for Nueva Italia, they had 3 tractors, 3 sprayers, and so on and so on. Not so if you look at Nueva Italia, which is something like 150 hectares, so that means one set of machines is for 50 hectares. My specialists, my experts say normally to run a plantation properly, you would have to have one set of machines for 30 hectares because otherwise, when you're finished with the area that you're spraying, before you are finished, the problem starts at the beginning already. So too few machines, and a few weeks ago he sold 1 tractor, so even less machines now. And there's no citrus specialist on site. He says there's a citrus specialist, but the citrus specialist that he claims to be a citrus specialist is no citrus specialist because this guy calls my experts when he has a problem. Yeah, that's it. So obviously there's no planning ahead. Normally this is a huge company and there should be plannings. I mean, you should know, okay, is it La Nina? Is it El Nino? Is it dry? Should it be a wet year? What do we have to do when? When do we have to apply water? When do we have to take the water away? Because this is also what I've been told. This is also important because there are certain times of the year where you have to take the water away. You have to stress the tree, and the more stressed it is at that moment, the more flowers it will produce, and the more flowers, the more oranges you have on the tree then. Yeah, so you have to know exactly what you're doing basically, but nobody does really know it, and even with the little knowledge they have, they cannot operate it properly because they don't have the machinery, they don't have the budget at them anymore. So, and the next thing is lots of employees have been fired. Not only for the greenhouses, but also for the citrus plantation. And now it starts that also important people are leaving themselves because they haven't been paid for months. Yeah. So in the end, the plantation is not generating any profits. I mean, no one of us, I'm sure, has ever got any profit, any money really on the bank account. Maybe some on a piece of paper, but was it really transferred to your bank account? I don't think so. So I still think, and I'm still sure that the plantations in Nueva Italia can be successful, can be a successful project in the future. I've talked to my experts, and they are really experts in citrus. They say yes, it can be successful. The numbers that or the projections that Agri Terra and Carsten Pfau has given to us are completely over the moon. You can never reach them. Forget about that. Impossible. But it still can be successful. So that means everybody of us can make money with it. The only thing is not with Agri Terra and not with Carsten Pfau. I'm really convinced about that. Yeah, because this guy never does the right decisions. So who can take over the management? Who can do the management? I'm sure that some of you have heard of the Spanish guys already, also from David and maybe also from Carsten Pfau. He also spoke a few times about the Spanish guys. Who are these Spanish guys? It's basically a company called Frutas del Paraguay. Three head person. One is Miguel. He's basically the president. Then there's Cesar. Actually, he's not Spanish. He's Paraguayan. He's the man on site, knowing everybody. He's the one who knows where to get when you have a problem and so on and so on. And then there's Nacho. He's basically the important person regarding the citrus because he's an engineer in citrus. Okay, I mentioned already Miguel. He's basically the president of the company, but this is not his only only company. Basically, he has other companies. Carsten Pfau in his last speech. I always call it a speech because actually it should have been a Q&A, but it was just a speech. So we could not nail him down to anything. All the questions that I have given over were basically not answered. So that's why I always call it a speech. He said that Frutas del Paraguay is not an expert in citrus or in growing anything. They only sell overpriced machinery and greenhouses that are way too complicated. Okay, I will come to that a little bit later. Yes, they are selling those kind of products, but this is only one company of them. They are doing all kinds of services around the world. With Miguel, what is maybe most important for you guys is the last 2 points. They are operating a very successful persimmons plantation in Paraguay. I will show you the pictures a bit later. Really good quality. I'm invested there as well. And I always got more money than projected for that respective year. So this is a lot better than with Agri Terra because I never received any money from Agri Terra, not what was prospected, and not a single cent, I must say. And the other thing regarding citrus is also important. He has his own plantation in Spain. So what Carsten Pfau said is simply wrong, that they have no expertise in planting citrus. This is simply wrong, full stop. Cesar, I mentioned already, he's the one on site organizing everything. Basically, he was the one who organized to build the 60 greenhouses. They are existing now because Frutas del Paraguay has delivered the greenhouses to Paraguay. And then there's Nacho, most important for us. He is a citrus engineer. Also, the last two or the last point here in this presentation, he is a technical advisor to approximately 40 citrus plantations in Spain. So this much about they have no idea about growing citrus. Yeah, sorry, this is total BS, and I get a little bit of pulse now when I think about that. Yeah. Okay, here are some pictures from the persimmons plantation from them. I must say, super organized, really how a plantation should look like. I've seen perfect fruits. For me, perfect fruits. I've never seen these fruits in Germany in a supermarket. In Munich, we have special supermarkets where you can like really top fruit. We In Germany, you say flight mangoes. So basically, they are flown in from respective countries, or flight persimmons. Basically, the second picture on the left-hand side, you see these kind of flight persimmons because they were prepared to be flown. This is the top quality. They were prepared to be flown to Madrid. Basically, they got paid 40 euros per kilo for that. They got paid. So you can imagine what that fruit would cost in that supermarket then. Most important for you guys are these pictures. The picture, or one is a picture, the other is a video. The picture on the left-hand side is a picture from Miguel's orange plantation. Looks better than our orange plantations. I asked him how old the trees are there well, or how old the tree is on the picture on the left-hand side. This is about 9 years old. So this would correspond to basically the first trees that have been planted in La Colmena. Yeah. So and Miguel told me, yeah, he's not very proud of his plantation. And I would say, well, if we would have a plantation that looks like this here, we would be very proud and we would be very happy because we would make some profit. But we are not making it at the moment. Yeah. So the tree is full of oranges. And on the right-hand side is a video that I will play now. And you can see this is a video from a plantation that is that Nacho is advisor to. So what you can see here, I mean, the branches of the trees, the fruit are so heavy that the branches need to be supported. Yeah. In Paraguay, on our plantations, we don't need to support anything because there's simply not enough fruit on the trees. Yeah. And these trees are about 7 years old. I was informed. So this is basically nearly to Nueva Italia, something like this. 6, 7 years. The trees
You
could.
start the video,
Hmm?
maybe.
Yeah, I will
Maybe
start.
you start the video now.
Yeah, I will do it, but I just wanted to explain what is happening, what is there. So here the video through the rows, you can see lots of fruit, very heavy branches. So yeah, we would love to have that in Nueva Italia or La Colmena, but we don't have it. Okay, so that much about they have no experience in growing citrus. Thing is, what must have happen next? I mean, the trees need to heal, fertilizer, also to get stronger trees and to get better fruit quality and to get more fruit, basically more yield. The trees need to be trimmed. This is also one thing that I did not know before. Trimming is not only what Carsten always says to keep the tree small that you can harvest easier. No, trimming means also to strategically take a branch off that it can grow bigger and stronger and produce more fruit. This is also very important. Irrigation system, I mentioned it already. Frutas del Paraguay says from day one you need irrigation. And I must agree with them because we are living here in Thailand. We are also invested in a mango plantation. And basically after half a year or after a year when our trees were planted, they put in the irrigation system. I mean, here in Thailand, it rains a lot, but sometimes you have 2 months or so when it does not rain. So overall, in the whole year, you have too much water, of course, but then there's some months where you need water and you don't have water, and that's very bad for the tree. Yeah, and in these times you need irrigation. And actually, we lived before we lived on Koh Samui, and Koh Samui there's really a lot of rain. I mean, there's some hills and some mountains, and therefore there's a lot of rain. On the mountains, there are the durian farms, durian plantations, really small plantations, really poor farmers, I would say. But every plantation has an irrigation system. Sorry, I simply don't believe what Carsten Faust said, that we did not need it so far and only now. And one thing that I am sure we should do, we should put the plots together like for a pool. Like this, it's easier to harvest. Everybody gets the same profit, even if you're 1 year unlucky and you had, I don't know, a disease on your trees, and the other year you're more lucky than the others. We put it all in a pool. We can harvest a lot easier. Actually, I don't believe Carsten Pfau that he can really he can really put the plots or separate the harvest of the plots. I don't think so. Yeah, I'm sure that he does not. At the moment, I cannot really guarantee it, but I'm sure about that. So the investment that has to be done, let's say there's no money left anymore from Agri Terra. We always have to think about the worst case, and I think we're pretty close to the worst case at the moment when we see what's going on the plantations. So the worst case is there's no money left anymore. Yeah, and one day Agri Terra will give over the project to us, and we want to do it. So there needs to be some investment done. First of all, an irrigation system is needed. This is just a number of thumb. Could be cheaper than 5,000. Here we're talking always about 1 hectare, because in agriculture you always do your planning by the hectare. So for 1 hectare, which is 10,000 square meters, you need about 5,000 US for the irrigation system. And for the cleaning, for new machines and everything, you need about another 1,000 US dollars, which would be a total of 6,000. Of course, if now Carsten Pfau sells all the machinery, this number would go up, because we need machines to run the plantation. Operational cost, again, for 1 hectare, fully operating, this is about 5,200 US dollars per year. Of course, in the beginning, we will not be fully operating, because simply there's not enough fruit on the trees. Therefore, you do not need so much harvest helpers and so on and so on, and maybe also a little bit less of fertilizer. Of course, we will need a lot of chemicals in the beginning just to get the trees healthy again. But this number, these 5,200 US dollars, will be a little bit less in the beginning. I will send the presentation to you guys as well, so you can go through the numbers completely. Just a few remarks. I mean, here these prices are divided in supermarket quality and industrial quality. At the moment, we have only industrial quality. For sure, no supermarket will buy anything. I'm really sure about that. This is the percentage. In the beginning, we think about, or Frutas de Paraguay thinks that we would have about 20% of supermarket quality and 80% of industrial quality. And then when the farm is really running and the trees are healthy again and so on, we hope that we get it to 50-50. And then we have here the cost per hectare. In the beginning, here you see in the 3rd year we have only the 5,200. In the beginning it will be something a little bit more than 4,000, then 4,600, and so on. And here we have the 6,000 initial investment. We will not make a complete profit in the first 3 years. Only in the 3rd year there will be a little bit of profit, but there needs to be some investment done in the first 3 years. So that will be per hectare about 14,000 US dollar. I've made it a little bit easier because some people have 2,500 square meters, some have 5,000 square meters, and so on and so on. So I've put the numbers here in this picture. Initial investment that has had to be done in the beginning, the profit after 10 years, and the profit less the investment. The challenges. First of all, Carsten Pfau has to hand over the project, which I think is a big problem at the moment. Of course, we could wait until he really has no money anymore and he has to give it over. But I mean, the trees do not get healthier during that time, and I'm pretty sure that the trees in La Colmena will be dead until then. I mean, in the experts said if nothing happens in Nueva Italia, we have something about 5 to 6 years until the trees are dead. In La Colmena, it's something like 2 years. And I was there, it's like really 90% of the trees are so ill. You can really believe that. It's not just one illness on one tree. It's like 3, 4, 5 different diseases on each tree. Yeah, so they are really dying. Second thing, titles must be handed over just to be on the safe side that the land is really ours, or that the land is really in the name of the clients, of the investors. And the third thing that is very important, when we start, the finances have to be there, so that basically everybody who says, yes, I do it, I am able to invest and I want to invest because I also think that the project can be successful, that money must be there in the first place, because otherwise we cannot start. Okay, let's go to the vegetable greenhouses, Nueva Italia. That's the situation. Looks super successful, huh? I must say. That's what Carsten Pfau says, that the greenhouses are successful. Hortipar, which is his company that is responsible for the greenhouses, he's always said that Hortipar is successfully running these greenhouses. Okay, I would say the pictures look different, and the people of you who have greenhouses can ask themselves, did you ever get any profit? I mean, not on paper, get on your bank account. Did you ever get any profit on your bank account? Because this is mostly what I would say is successful, yeah, not just putting them there. Okay, so basically the greenhouses have been abandoned for months, I would say, when we were there in March. Nothing has been done. Also easy because there were no employees. When there are no employees, I mean, who can take care of the greenhouses? I mean, there's everything overgrown. Also from the outside, there's so many bushes and so really pressing against the plastic of the greenhouses, destroying it from the outside. There has been a storm. Yes, of course, storms can happen. Yeah, but why do you not repair the greenhouse afterwards? I mean, it's not only the outside structure that is not so expensive, basically. So basically, these plastics here, they are not so expensive. That's something like a US dollar per square meter. What is expensive are these sunshades here, because they are something like $4 per square meter. And if the outside is broken, and if it continues to be broken, wind can come inside and destroy the expensive stuff. And this is what happened here. Yeah. So poor conditions. There's no specialist on site. There was once, as far as I know, in 2022. They sent over people from Paraguay to Mexico to get information on how to run a greenhouse. They came back. The first results were really good. This is basically where you guys all know or have seen the pictures when there's a lot of tomatoes and a lot of pepper and so on. These pictures should have been something like beginning of 2022. But then Carsten Pfau fired these people, and no one knew anything about that in the end. So there's no planning, there's no expertise dealing with problems. At the moment, there's no employees. and in the end, no profit. Carsten Pfau said that basically, no, sorry, I have to say it in a different way. When we were there in the beginning of April, one of the key employees came to us and we spoke to him through Google Translator because he doesn't speak any English, we don't speak Spanish. So, but he told us, yeah, now everything's gonna be fine and everything's gonna be cleaned up and repaired, and they're about to plant again. This was end of March, beginning of April. So this video here is June 21st, 2025. Does this look like everything's clean now and everything's okay now and replanted? These are the old plants from last year. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And I'm sure, I tried to get some pictures from last week, but actually the guy who I'm in contact with, who's living there, he's at the moment in Germany, so he could not do any pictures, and I could not get any pictures. So basically, nothing is happening there because there are simply no employees. So what needs to happen next? The greenhouses need to be cleaned. They have to be repaired. The most important person would be now an engineer. You call him grower, who really knows his job. Frutas del Paraguay has a contact to a university in Mexico. Basically, they have a study. What do you call it in English? Basically, you can study, let's say, greenhouse operations. That's what I call it. I'm sure it's not the right name, but you can study it there. It's a 4-year study, and from day one, you are working in a greenhouse. You know exactly what you're doing, everything, every problems, and so on. This is what the people are learning there. And this was also the university that Agri Terra sent these employees in 21 or 22 there. And this was great result. But that was only, I think they were there only for 4 weeks or so, not 4 years. Yeah. So we should get somebody from Mexico who has studied that. Why Mexico? Because Mexico is the closest climate to the climate of Paraguay. It's not exactly the same. So also this guy would have to learn in Paraguay again, for sure. Yeah. But I would prefer somebody from Mexico than from Spain or from the Netherlands. Netherlands and Spanish people are also very good regarding that, but they cost a lot more. And regarding Netherlands, the climate in the Netherlands is completely different to Paraguay. So I would say, no, that's not the right person. And these persons would be something like 2, 3, 4 times more expensive than the Mexican grower. Cost for the repairs, we would have to look at every single greenhouse regarding that year. So you cannot put any number of them, but you can know already. So the outside plastic is something like $1 per square meter. That sunshade is about $4 per square meter, and the cover of the floor is also something like $1 per square meter. So around. So if you know what your greenhouse is looking like, you can make the estimation yourself. Operating cost first year. Again, we have to go from the worst case. Worst case is there's no money left from Agri Terra. So basically, we would have to cover the cost for the first year. And the cost for the first year are something like nearly $60,000. That needs to be covered in the beginning of it. Yeah, that's a high number, but it is as it is. This is the financial outlook. Again, you can get or you can work through that yourself. I've put it in two numbers. The investment is something like 57,000 US dollar. Profit less investment after 10 years is in total something like 235,000 US dollars. I mean, going back again to that here. I mean, we are talking something like about 50 kilograms per square meter. There can be years that you have 55 kilograms per square meter, but there can also be years where you have only 46 kilograms per square meter. Yeah. So we wanted to give realistic numbers and not moon numbers as AgriTerra has done it in the past and is still doing it. Same challenges as with the citrus. AgriTerra has to hand over the project, titles must be there, and the money for the first year needs to be there beforehand. Otherwise, we cannot start. And the thing is, a certain number of investors in greenhouses have to be or have to join the project. I mean, the numbers that I brought just before are basically the numbers for 40 vegetable greenhouses in that pool. If it's only five who join us, of course, the numbers for the grower for each greenhouse is higher. So I would say it starts to make fun at about 20 vegetable greenhouses. Everything below is more difficult and of course a lot less profit. A few informations for you guys, the ones who do not know it yet. We have put up some social media, Facebook, Instagram, and also YouTube now. The YouTube channel is empty at the moment. The first video will be the video from this presentation. And you guys can always contact us on the email that we put on. So if you have any question, if you have any more information, that is always very good. If you have new informations, fine for us. The more information we get, the more we can put pressure on Carsten Pfau, or the more information we can pass on to the other investors. So that's it from my side. I see that there's a lot going on the chat.
There's one important question. Sam would like to know if the video from the dry vegetables in the greenhouse, is it from 24 or 25? Is it?
It's 25, that video. It's 21st of June 2025, but it's the old plants, basically. It's the plants that have been planted in 2024. So they have not been, the greenhouse has not been cleaned after that. This is what I wanted to show.
Okay, the beginning of June, because now we have the 15th of June and
Sorry, so what did I? No, sorry.
it's May or something.
That must be May. Sorry for that.
Yeah, then
Yeah. Sorry, that was my mistake. Yeah.
Okay, good. So, but that was in the chat. And then one question about La Colmena 2. Do we have any information? I said we must wait for the experts to give a recommendation.
Yeah, exactly. We have no information. I mean, it's not completely. You cannot completely separate it to La Colmena 1 and La Colmena 2 because also parts of La Colmena 1 are affected of it, but it's mostly La Colmena 2. What you can do there, I mean, personally, I would not plant any oranges there anymore. Yeah. So the maybe you can plant another kind of tree there that you can harvest in the end. I mean, wood harvest. But I do not want to say anything at the moment. Maybe there are some areas that you can save regarding planting orange trees as well. I mean, if it's maybe some draining can be done in certain areas. I've also heard that certain areas there are stones pretty close to the surface. So basically, in the beginning, the trees grew nicely, but what is Schatz, was heißt Wurzel?
A
Um,
root.
well,
The
exactly.
root.
When the roots came to that stones, then the trees died as well. So I do not want to give too many informations. Really, we would have to go there with the experts, really have a proper look into that, and then really decide. But at the moment, from the outside, it's too dangerous to make any to give any expectations.
Then the question about Nueva Italia number 2. Do we have information about the information about notarized agreements for Nueva Italia 2?
Normally they should be on the way. This is what
What
I
they
know
say.
from Carsten, because actually Nueva Italia 2 is one plantation, and we, for our strawberry greenhouse, we have received the notarized contract already. So the notarized contract should also be there for Nueva Italia 2 citrus. Of course, I mean, there is rumor that might be well, there might be some, just let me check. Um, Sorry for that. Takes now a little bit. There might be some credit on certain areas of the plantation. Therefore, the notarized contract cannot be done. But this is rumor. I have no idea if this is correct. Yeah.
Can they
Plus-
contact the Laura Fernandez? Can they contact her?
Yes, of course, but I have no idea if she answers. Yeah, I mean, sometimes she answers, sometimes not. I mean, with Laura Fernandez and especially with communication in Paraguay, I also did not believe it in the beginning, but communication in Paraguay happened through WhatsApp. That's it. Yeah, you can send emails to lawyer to whatever people. They will not answer because everything happens there with WhatsApp. If you don't have WhatsApp and if you want to contact them, get WhatsApp. It's not possible in another way. Yeah. And also, many of these telephone contracts, they are only contracts by only data contracts. So basically, you cannot call these numbers only through WhatsApp again. Yeah. This is what you have to
No.
clear
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And are we managing the Reddit group? No. The
No,
Reddit?
it's not
No.
us. That's not us. The thing is, I was in the beginning. I was in the Reddit group. How was the name? I think K or so. Just one. Yeah,
Letter.
he invited us as well. But the thing is just, I mean, we are in contact with people through Facebook. We are in contact with clients through WhatsApp. We are in contact with clients through email. We are in contact with clients through Instagram. What else? I mean, and Reddit, I'm simply too old. I don't understand it, I must say.
Okay.
Yeah. So I said to Kay, okay, I'm out of that group. It's too complicated for me. If there's any questions, he has my email address and he can contact me. But we are not the organizer of that group.
The next question, do we know if Agri Terra Germany has closed?
Officially, no. Officially, Michael Pfau is still working there. All the other employees have gone. Yeah, that's what it is. But there's no office running there anymore, and the people that you might get on the telephone is basically an agency. It's not Agri Terra, it's not Agri Terra employees. Even if these people tell it to you, it's not. So this Mr. Winter or whoever you get on the phone, he's not an Agri Terra employee. Yeah, he's just an agency giving these informations to Michael V. If he answers, good questions. Good question. I don't think so because yeah, he didn't answer in the past. So why should he answer now suddenly when the situation is even worse?
Then the next question is about the current lawsuits in Germany. Do you know something about?
Well, we have a lawsuit running at the moment with our strawberry greenhouse. Basically, we are trying to step back from the contract, from the sales contract. It's so basically it's always like two parts of a lawsuit in Germany. So the first part we are basically pretty we're coming to the end. Um, I think it's the 6th or 7th of July that the verdict will be done. Everything now is only in a written way. You never know what the outcome will be. So what happens very often in Germany? So for the first step, the judge has really no interest in that first step. So they decide whatever they decide because they are pretty sure that it will go to the second step because the side that has lost will appeal. And then it goes on. And then on the second step, which is the Oberlandesgericht, they do a final verdict then. Yeah. So even whatever side will win in the first step, so in the Landesgericht or the Landgericht, it's let's say 90% sure that the side that has lost will appeal it. There's a second lawsuit, or let's say a second big lawsuit with other strawberry owners, let's say Americans, that are doing this. This is a little bit delayed. And this lawsuit is a bit different than ours because we are only, you and me, we are only one lawsuit. And with the others, with the Americans, like I think five lawsuits were brought together. Um, One thing that you have to understand, in Germany, there's no such thing as, just let me check, what do you call it? Yes, there's no such thing as a class action lawsuit. This simply does not exist in Germany. Yeah. So it's not possible to do that. So the only possibility is that you have lawsuits by themselves. And what could happen is that the judges say, well, these five lawsuits are so equal to each other, we put them together to one lawsuit because then we have less to do. But there's no class action. The second one, the bigger one, actually started way before us. It got delayed, and my information is that the verdict will be done in August. That's my last information regarding that, but I cannot say more about that. Then I think there are lawsuits also in Paraguay. I have no idea about that.
Das
Um,
reicht.
and one more thing, and there are also some lawsuits regarding the oranges, especially La Colmena running. But I also do not have too many informations about that.
Genau. Okay. Dann eine Frage nochmal von, one question again. Do we have received an information about our request of buyback? Because Hey would like to know if we have received anything about a notice or something.
Regarding the strawberry greenhouse or what?
Yeah, and vegetable, is it? No.
Well, that offer was basically for the strawberry greenhouses. the official offer, let's say it this way, was for the strawberry greenhouses. Well, we have sent an email to Carsten Pfau that we are interested, even if the lawsuit is going on, that we're interested to sell our greenhouse. At the moment, we did not receive any information. I see that Anna
Same. Yeah.
is here as well. She has done it as well and also mentioned it again at the speech. Of Carsten Pfau. I don't know if Anka has received anything so far, any information. No. At his speech, when I asked him how long will it take until we hear anything from that interested Brazilian company or fund or whatever it is, and he said something like 3 months. We'll see.
Genau. And then, do you think Carsten Pfau will give over the control of Agri Terra? Is this possible? And what would be the next step if it's not happening?
Good question. I think he will give it over one day because simply he's running out of money. He's just too unsuccessful in the projects, and just there will be a time when he simply does not have money, or he does not want to spend any money anymore. The question is only when that is and how early he realizes it. That's the big question for me at the moment. What was the second part, and how difficult it
What
was?
is the next step if he's not giving up the control about Agri Terra? What could be the next step?
Difficult. I mean, the contracts are so weak written in that way that basically it's difficult. If he's stubborn, it's difficult that we get him out. Let's say it this way.
Yeah, thank you. Mhm.
Anything else?
Okay.
Maybe somebody else wants to raise the hand and ask some more questions. Yeah. Hey has also not received anything. Blah blah. I just has any? I just read one of the comment in the last German investor meeting. Carsten mentioned that he noticed the vegetable greenhouse crisis and offered buyback. Did he really offer buyback? Basically, he mentioned that for the vegetable greenhouses, that also this Brazilian fund, whatever company, could be interested to buy these back. Um, yeah, just send him an email or WhatsApp. Yeah, then you will see. I mean, this has to do with this medical cannabis thing. I mean, I would be super happy if that works. Yeah. And I would be super happy if this Brazilian company really exists and would really buy all the greenhouses. Fine for me. I would not have any work to start that project and so on. The thing is, do I really believe it? Maybe 10%, I must say. A few years ago, I looked into investing in medical cannabis in basically in Europe. There's two big companies, or by that time there were two big companies. One was producing in Switzerland, and the other one was producing, I think, in Czech Republic or somewhere like that. If you look at these pictures and at these videos, it's not a greenhouse. It's basically a clean room. So this is far away. So the effort is so much higher than for a greenhouse. So I mean, even if he gets the license for that, I'm not really sure if you can produce that in a greenhouse. If super, yeah, and buy the greenhouses, whatever, no problem for me. Yeah, I think like nearly everybody, every owner of a greenhouse would get rid of that as soon as possible. But to be honest, I see it only as something like at 10%, something like that. Yeah. So there are three new.
I would like to have the WhatsApp address from Carsten. We can hand over everything we have. Yeah.
Yeah, just a moment. I check it. Um, shall I write it down in the chat? I do it now, then you can have it. That's +49. So I write it down because he always says that he's available for every investor. So the people should have it. Just let me check again. Yeah, that's the number.
Next question. If we would decide to sell the land in Paraguay, do you think it would be the same price we paid for it? Good
The thing is,
question.
yeah, the thing is, you did not only buy land, but you also bought, let's say, let's talk about citrus. You also paid for the trees there to taking care of the trees for the first years, and of course, you also paid a certain profit for Agri Terra. Let's say if somebody buys that kind of land at the moment in Paraguay, it would be something like, I don't know, let's say if it's expensive, $5 per square meter, something like that. So, but you paid something like for 2,500 square meters, you paid something like between 16,500 US dollars and I think 18,500 US dollars. So yeah, that amount of money you will not get back, just for the land. Of course, if the trees are successful one day and if everything is there, you could get more. But even if you, I mean, we also thought about maybe we find a big citrus producer somewhere around the world. And just a moment, I have to plug in my computer because I did not plan to use that one. Because he might be that producer might be interested to get a more land and more plantation and so on and so on. But the thing is, these producers really know their job. They know how to start a new plantation, and for them, the cost will be a lot less than what we have paid. Yeah. So let's say they would pay maybe for 2,500 square meters of plantation. Their cost would be something, let's say 10,000 US, maybe 8,000 US. Yeah. So for sure, you will not get your 17,500 for the 2,500 square meters. That's reality. Sorry for that. Yeah.
Ja, genau.
Yeah. Anything else?
No,
No
not.
further questions? Okay, then I would say thank you very much, guys.
Just
Hope
one.
that it was informative for you. And yeah, we will in the next few days or maybe weeks, we will ask you. Oh yeah, now there's another question regarding strawberry greenhouse. Well,
Yeah.
what would I advise an investor in strawberry greenhouse to do now? I would advise simply inform Carsten Pfau that you're about or that you would sell and that you are asking for an offer from this Brazilian company. That's the only thing that you can do at the moment, I would say. Yeah. Of course, you can also start a lawsuit in Germany if you want. We can give the contact of our lawyer. Maybe we can also get the contact details from that law firm. I think it's in Berlin from the Americans who are doing their lawsuit now. But at the moment, the first thing I would do, I would inform Carsten Pfau officially that you want to sell your greenhouse back. Okay. So again, thank you very much. We will try to get the informations from you guys or from the investors what you are about to do. Do you want to join us in to join us regarding the not strawberry, but the vegetable greenhouses and the citrus? Or do you say, no, I will not invest any more money into that. I see it as a total loss, or yeah, maybe I can sell it in the future. Whatever info you can give us, it would be fine because then we also know how we can continue. Does it make sense for us to invest any time into that further, or is it just not possible to run it properly? Yeah. The more infos we have, the better it is for us. Yeah. Okay. So thanks very much. Have a good day or night, I think is for most. Yeah.
Noch nicht beenden, nicht, dass wir den Chat verlieren, genau.
Okay.
Can help you. Super, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, when we need any informations, we will also always contact you guys. If you have any informations from your side, it's always good to inform us.
Connect.
Yeah. I mean, it is really great to have the people like you because I mean, as I said in the beginning, when we were informed about the strawberry maybe being or highly possibility to be fraud, we were devastated. We had no contact to anyone. Now we have contact to about 200, maybe 220 people. And one has an information this direction, one has an information this direction, and the more info we can get, we can put together, the more easy it will be for us to find a solution, whatever the solution will be. But the better it is. So thank you very much for sharing your infos that you have. Yeah, I think we can close it now, huh? Good.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day. Best of luck.
Thank you.